Hey guys! So I wanted to do my favorite books of 2014 video today. I decided to do just a favorite books video instead of 14 books from 2014 type of deal because I wanted to pick the books that I really loved, and I did not have 14 books that I read that I absolutely loved. There are those books that really just stand out and kind of, you know, that they are like better than the rest, and so I wanted to just choose those. So I think I have 5 or 6 of those, and I'm just going to show you guys what I picked. Some of these I have already done book reviews for on my channel, so if I did do that, I will mention it and put a link below if you want to know a little bit more about the book, but I'll kind of give you guys a little recap too as I go along. So we will start with The Fifth Wave by Yancey because I read this for the first time this year and I absolutely loved it. This was a new genre for me. I don't read a whole lot of sci-fi type of books just because I typically prefer fantasy or contemporary or something like that, but this is a cult favorite. People love it, and so I wanted to read it and I loved it. I thought that the kind of whole storyline was unique, and if you're not familiar with this, basically it's like an alien invasion is happening in America and I guess the whole world, and there are people in the story trying to survive that. The book itself is also written from different points of view, so it kind of peters back and forth between different people who are all experiencing this event but have different points of views of it, or involved differently, and all sorts of stuff. So it's very cool. I would highly recommend it. So my next book is a dystopian book, and I've sort of read and kind of liked dystopian more the last few years. I never really read it much until I joined BookTube. I've never found like a whole lot of dystopian series that I just really love. I have enjoyed a lot of them, but none of them have been like all-time favorites until I read this book, and that is Divergent by Veronica Roth. The book came out a couple years ago and is super popular, and I didn't read it until this year for the first time, but I really loved this. This is the best dystopian book I've read so far. I haven't read the 2 sequels yet that follow this one, but I am planning on doing that in 2015. But I really liked this one because I felt like the setup and general kind of design of the world was a lot more interesting. Sometimes dystopian is just kind of boring to me and a little bit bland. The different factions that she set up, kind of like the different houses in Harry Potter. I liked that it was very action-packed and fast-paced. I think Triss was really fun, kind of like the main character. I liked Thor's character, and I just really enjoyed it. So I am excited to finally read the next 2, hopefully this year. I just didn't have a chance this year to read it, but I really liked it. I definitely recommend it, and I also really liked the movie adaptation as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing the future movies too that come out. This next book is a classic, and this is kind of surprising because I don't read a whole lot of classics, but I took a literature and cinema class my spring semester. So I read a lot of different books that I otherwise wouldn't have read, and one of the books we read was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey. This I would consider like, I guess, a dystopian type of world. It's kind of like Fahrenheit 451. I'm kind of surprised I liked it as much as I did because typically like required reading is just not as interesting. I hate to say that, but required to read something, you don't like it as much. This is basically about like a group of grown men in a mental institution, which sounds crazy, but basically these men are in like this really controlled, like sterile, like awful mental institution or mental ward, and everybody thinks they're crazy and that they have all these issues. People that like run the place and control it are very like negating. They look down on the guys, and it's just like an awful like environment for them. And then one day this new guy comes, and he's very boisterous and very like lively and crazy and opinionated and like rugged, and he just kind of stirs the pot up. He doesn't take crap from anyone. He kind of fights back against the system and like the man and like resists. I liked it a lot. I thought that it was just good. I don't know what else to say about it. I think that it was very complex, like the writing, but it was still interesting. And a lot of times, like, required reading books are just kind of like dull and not very interesting, but I liked the characters. The dialogue was really engaging and really fun. If you're looking for a good classic to read, I would definitely recommend it. My next ones are from the Bloodlines series by Richelle Mead, and I wanted to show both of these because I really enjoyed both of them, but if I had to pick one, I would say my favorite would be The Fiery Heart by Richelle Mead. Loved them, complete game changers, and made the series just pick up and become really engaging, really addicting. And so I wanted to show both the Indigo Spell and The Fiery Heart, which look like this. I've talked about these, but if I had to choose one, I would say The Fiery Heart. Really, really addicting and the best in the series, at least thus far. So if you haven't read this series, but you're a fan of Vampire Academy, or you're looking for something good to read, these were really, really good and definitely in my favorites of this year. One more book that I found because of my literature and cinema class from the springtime, and it's The Player by Michael Tolkin. This is like a contemporary of its time. This book was released in like the 90s, early 90s or the 80s, written by an American screenwriter who was in Hollywood. Michael Tolkin was, I guess, involved in like the movie business and the movie industry. So this story follows a movie executive that works for like a big company, receiving these mysterious letters from the writer who sends him really threatening things and just really like concerning messages. And it was somebody that he met with about a script before, and he turned down their script for his company to make into a movie. He just turned it down, and somebody who's out to get revenge on him. And then a lot of other things happen, and it's just really, really good. I'm a big movie kind of film person. I like a lot of films and watching films, and so I liked that this kind of told about the Hollywood industry of the time. It's not as modern day because it was in the 90s, late 80s, but it's just really interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. So I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for something a little different, if you like movies or the Hollywood industry, or you want to check out the premise of this and you think you'd like it. And the last one that I have is the last book I read. There's usually one book that I read at the end that somehow slides in to my favorites for the whole year, but I am planning on doing a book review on this, so I won't spend too much time talking about it, but I wanted to show this, and it's Ignite by Lily Paradis, sent to me by Lily to review, and I finally read it last month. I think that this is worthy of favorite books of 2014 because this was one of those books that I was very addicted to, that I read through really quickly. I couldn't stop putting it down or thinking about it when I wasn't reading it, and to me those books are worthy of your favorites. When you have books like that and you just know that you really like them and you really love them, then I think that they're worth mentioning, and it's worth a spot in my favorites for this year. Definitely give this book a read if you're into contemporary and you think you'd like it, and stay tuned for my book review because that will be coming up soon. Okay guys, so that is all for my favorite books of 2014. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and tell me your favorite books from 2014 below, because I need to get on it in 2015 and read more than I did this year. I would love to have your recommendations to check out because I need to read more and check out some more books. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for a great year. You guys have been awesome. I love making these videos for you all and for myself, and just coming on here and being able to talk to you guys. So thanks so much for making it fun for me, and I'm excited for next year, and I may or may not have another video up before this one, before the year's over, but if I don't, then I hope you guys have a very happy new year, and I will see you all very soon. Bye guys.